It's been it has been 5 months, I think, since the last time we met, and I interviewed you for my YouTube channel, and you're,
Yeah.
like, the first big success story that I have as far as, like, my coaching clients.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to do this interview with you, this follow-up, because when we met the last time, I remember you were so excited because you had just filled like 5 of your 9 beds, and things were just your phone was ringing off the hook, and things were just moving so fast. And so I am super excited to hear more about where you are in your journey. So first, before we do that, in case anybody didn't watch the first interview, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and where your co-living home is?
Well, I appreciate you for bringing me back, and I'm so excited to be here. My name is Kenya Lewis, and I have a shared living home in Baltimore, Maryland, and my first house was like a miracle. 7 bedrooms, 4 bath, 4 full baths, and 4 floors. So it was a massive house. And I've never done anything like this before. I've been in real estate previously, but I wanted to come back into real estate and just do something a little bit different. And that's why I seek the mentor program. So that's just a little bit about me.
Okay, thanks. And so when you opened your group home or your co-living home, what were you most nervous about?
Honestly, I was the most nervous to talk to social workers. Like I said previously, have been in the real estate world, so I am familiar with talking to investors. I'm understanding numbers. I know exactly what I'm looking for. But when you're talking to social workers, because this is not a space that I've ever uh, dealt with before, wasn't sure the type of questions I was going to get, if I was going to be prepared for what they were to bring me, if they actually did bring me a person, how I was going to, react to those type of things. So to me, I think I was the most nervous to talk to social workers. And then the other aspect of it was just long term how everything was going to roll out. You just, you prepare yourself, you get everything ready, but you just don't know how things are going to turn out for you. So I think that was what I was the most nervous about.
Okay. And so you rented the house, right? You didn't buy the house? Okay. And you weren't nervous about trying to find a place to rent?
No, I was not.
Okay. And was it pretty easy, or was it hard to find a landlord that would allow you to rent the house and sublease it to other people?
So the type of house that this is, it was created for a business to be run out of it, whether it was assisted living or a shared
Mm,
living space group home. So that particular company, property management company, they were already familiar with how things go. But
okay.
I was not personally um, afraid to reach out to just regular everyday owners and just kind of educate them on how this is run, how it's structured, and how I'd be running the business out of the home and how we could work together. Because the reality is people don't want to have to worry about their tenants. They don't want to
Hmm.
worry if they're going to get paid. They don't want to worry about if the person is going to tear up their house. So when you have a business owner and you have a real estate investor, essentially, and you're using their property to run a business out of, you have like-minded individuals for the most part. And they know if you're not running the business, then you're not getting the profit, but you're still having to essentially take care of two households at once. So for me, I think that I was not hesitant to reach out to property owners and management companies because I knew that it was a security for them and then it was also an opportunity for myself.
Awesome. Okay. So you found the house, they allowed you to sublease it to other people. And then what was the setup process like? I'm really interested in like your first 90 days of operations. Like, how crazy was it, or how busy was it? Like, I want to hear all of that. Like, how is it running your first 90 days of this business?
Woo, that is a loaded question. So the first 90 days has honestly been a roller coaster. It's been up and down. One thing that I can say is when I started marketing, I did have the property before I was really comfortable with having the conversations with other social workers and individuals who needed housing. So I was kind of learning two things at once, which was the first thing, learning how to pay bills and be responsible for a household that you're not currently in. And then also bringing individuals who you've never met before and don't know or not associated with into the conversation and into the home, bringing them into the home. So listening to everybody's story. So I think marketing is the biggest thing. The thing that worked for me was having and building the relationships. So the relationships with social workers, organizations, the people, the community was the biggest thing. You can't just, me, I don't live in Baltimore. I've never lived in Baltimore, but I knew being new to a community, you were going to either be embraced or they were going to say, hey, I don't know who this person is. They're just looking to make a quick buck. But if you show that you're a passionate and you're a compassionate person, but you're also a business owner and business minded, I think people have the ability to learn to trust you and trust your business and trust how you are maintaining your business. So the first 90 days, I would say, were exciting, but yet exhausting because I was up early in the morning. I was making sure I was sending out emails. I was on the phone calling people. I did hire several people on Fiverr so they could cold call for me if I didn't have the time. I got my social medias up and running. I hired my niece, like I said in the previous video, and she was posting stuff all the time. Facebook and Instagram brought a lot of audience to us as well. So I think marketing in that first 90 days is what brought a lot of individuals to the business and to really just calling my website as well. The other thing was bringing people into the home. So the aspect, you really have to look at people's personality and see if they are able to work with other individuals. You don't really know based off like one interaction with someone if they're a good fit for a shared housing. And you may be the type of individual who has like a good rapport with people or that you can kind of gauge people quickly and understand their character. But in this particular space, you have to already know who's in your house and see if that individual would fit in that community because not
Mm,
everybody would feel comfortable, not everybody would feel included. If you have like more quiet people, more people who work at night, people work during the day, those type of structures, how people are structured in their life is very important when you're talking about putting individuals who don't know each other in the same essentially they do have to work together for the most part when you're talking about them cooking and cleaning up and using the bathroom and those type of things. So in the first 90 days I really realized the individuals that worked in a shared environment and individuals who maybe need a different space or a different option for them. And the biggest thing too is to say no more than you say yes. And I know that sounds crazy to say,
mm,
but again, if something, don't be so desperate to get somebody into the house and get the bills paid that you put someone who may need more mental health resources, someone who may need different type of health care or they have health issues that if they don't have somebody on call or if their life is not structured where they have a social worker, like different things like that, if they don't fit into like the independent, if they're not independent or they need to be in like a sober space, that's when you can really start getting into contacting other business owners who are doing the same thing as you. Because at first I was like, I don't know if they're going to want to talk to me. I don't know. But we really build a community and we give each other referrals all the time. I'm probably in
nice.
like 6 group messages with different business owners who are just in Baltimore, and we're like, hey, I don't have room for this person, or I don't think this person is a good fit for me. Can somebody else take them? because we're
Hmm.
understanding what is your niche. And so being in that niche is very important. Understanding the people that you are serving in your house already is very important. And then the community relationships. All those things I've learned in the first 90 days very quickly. And I think,
Yeah, you just dropped so many gems.
oh, sorry. But yeah, I
No,
think it's an
I was
excellent thing to do.
while you were talking, I wrote down so many things. So, first of all, I want to know like how often were you over at the house? Because I know that when I first started my business, well, first of all, my homes are in Texas and I live in California. So I was so nervous. I was so nervous all the time and anxious in the beginning. And I was flying out there every 3 weeks in the beginning. And then I reduced that to every other month because that's when I had a house supervisor. So I named one of the people who lived there as the house supervisor. And so then I had somebody I could kind of depend on. And so then I wasn't going out there so much. But I want to know like how often were you at the house and do you have a house supervisor?
So the first part of that question is a very good question because I think at first we're all just super anxious and then we don't know everything that you need at first. So you find yourself like, oh, I didn't think about that. And someone just moved in and they're like, hey, what about this particular thing? You're like, dang, I didn't think about that. Let me go to the store or let me try to figure out a way to go and bring that item to you because it just makes sense in the structure. So I was there often. I probably went at least 3 times a week. It's not like in my backyard. It's not a plane ride away like yours is, but it's also not right there either. So it's like a 45 minute to an hour drive, depending on the traffic that day. So I was definitely, whether I was getting off of work or I was just on the weekend, I was there often because one, I wanted to make sure that the individuals who were in the home didn't feel like abandoned and they knew that they had access to me. And then also at the same time, I wanted to see how the house was running while I wasn't around. So I would just pick up and just go just to see what the house looked like. And I think to this day, it's important to do that just to
Yeah.
have some type of eyes, just so they know
Hmm.
that, let me do my dishes real quick or
Right,
let me
exactly.
pick up
They
the
need to
broom.
know that you're going to pop up on them. Exactly. That's what I do too. I just pop up on them.
Yes. And I
Then they're
did
like,
have
"Oh,
a
Katrina's here."
I know, like, hold on, everybody, do the dishes, put the
Yep.
trash away.
Yep.
But the other thing is, yes, I do have a house supervisor. I don't have the same house supervisor that I originally had. That's one of
Okay.
the lessons that I learned in the first 30 days is to kind of give people a trial period, right? Give people an opportunity that if they're showing those leadership skills to you can identify that and very quickly you'll see if they have that type of leadership skills and then kind of have a conversation like, hey, have you thought about maybe being a house supervisor? Here are the responsibilities and the potential benefits. And I think putting a house supervisor on maybe a 30 to 60-day just trial period is a good time frame to kind of see if you guys, one, can work together, and two, to see if they're really wanting to be in the house for a long period of time. Because once you get a good house supervisor, you do not want to let them go, but
Right.
they're
Right.
they're free to do whatever they want, especially if they're month to month. But you want somebody who you know that you can work well with, and not just good leadership skills, but you guys can communicate well with one another
Hmm.
as it's really needed in order to make sure that the house is taken care of. Someone who really cares about their living space, I think, is a good way to see that. But yes, I do now have my second house supervisor, and I do think that he will be sticking around.
Good. Do you
Yes.
do an all male house?
So right now it's co-ed. I actually have females and males. And I know that people are like, they say the same thing like, "Oh my gosh, you have a co-ed house? Like that's
Yeah, I
different."
do too, though.
Usually it's yeah, so you understand, like usually it's male or female. But what I realize is that one, the house is so big that no one feels like they're just like on top of each other, like they don't have any space. So the individual rooms, like the private rooms that we have, and even the share rooms that we have, they still have enough space to have their own individual life without feeling like they need to get
Right.
around everybody else. But also at the same time, the males take on the handiwork, the trash, the shoveling of the snow.
Mhm.
The females are more cleaning of the bathrooms and making sure things are
Right.
mopped and cooking and stuff. So they do work together actually
They
very
become
well.
like a family.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And the other thing I was telling somebody the other day is we have a house rule that you're not allowed in anybody else's room, period,
Hmm.
no matter what your gender is. And so they were like, isn't that a problem having men and women in the same house because they'll go in each other's room? No, I have a house rule. You're not allowed in anybody else's room.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
even with the house rule, I haven't really had an issue with that at all. Like when I say the men go this way, the women go that way, everybody's doing their own thing and no one
Hmm.
is messing around with each other. You know, I get a lot of, "Oh my gosh, you should do like sexual harassment training and things like that." I say, "Yeah, we do have those type of conversations and I make it very known that I'm zero tolerance. If somebody, I
Right.
don't care which way it goes, if that happens, you do have to find another place to go." However, I think it works fine.
Hmm. I agree. I agree. Do you also have an operations manager or is it just the house supervisor?
So I have been going back and forth about the operations manager. I'm functioning as the operations manager. I'm not functioning as the owner just because I want to be able to adequately do the responsibilities of what I'm going to expect someone else to do. So when they're coming to me and they're asking me questions or, you know, they need some guidance or we're trying to figure something out, I'm able to guide them in a good way, knowing that I have experience in doing it.
Yeah.
Also, I want to wait until I have my second house, which is coming soon. Yay.
What?
But
Wait. Let's back up.
yes,
Okay. All right.
yes. So have a second house. It'll be opening in April, and
What?
they actually found me from the YouTube interview that me and you have done.
You have a second house opening in a couple months?
Yes, I do. So within what was it, 6 months? Less than six
I
months of opening
oh
the
my
first
goodness.
one. Yeah, and
Did
they
you
have
you
other
already have the
properties.
yeah. Wait. Do wait. How did you get this property? So it's is it the same people that you got the first house from? Different
They
people?
were total strangers. I don't even know how they got my number. They just seen the interview between me and you on YouTube, and they're investors. They have property in Baltimore and PG County, which I live in PG County, and they said, "Hey, we not only have one house, but we have several houses. Are you interested in
Are
taking
you
them?"
kidding me?
I was like, "Oh yes, absolutely." I actually just did a walkthrough with them yesterday.
My
So
goodness.
yes,
This is
we will be
awesome.
opening up our second one very soon.
Whoa. How many beds is that one gonna be?
So it's 5 bedrooms with a potential of being six because the basement has a full bathroom in it. There's a
Wow.
garage in the back and it has a ton of space. The master bath bedroom has a room in it as well. So I'm still crunching the numbers and trying to figure out
Okay.
exactly what that looks like. But I would like to make this house more so re-entry.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
really just make that the niche for this home. So the first
Mhm.
home kind of co-ed, and then this second home being re-entry. And
Mhm.
I'm considering the third home being for adolescents, like those who are aging out of foster care.
Okay. So the second home's going to be re-entry. Your first home, other than co-ed, what's like the type of people that you have? What's the demographic in the first house?
So 40s and up and
Okay.
working. So I'm really looking for individuals who have a very strict work schedule or school schedule or both. So
Mhm.
everyone that is in the house is either in school or works 40 to 60 hours a week, whether that's
Okay.
at night or during the day. Some of them work at night, some of
Mhm.
them work like, a whole weekend. They might be gone for the whole weekend, but the demographic is, you know, late 30s, definitely early 40s to about
Mhm.
50, 52. I think the oldest individual is 50. I want to say he's 53, 52,
Mhm.
53. But yes, all of them are essentially working class individuals. So 9 to 5, they're
Wow.
out of the house for majority of the day.
Mhm. I was gonna ask you if you have any regrets about starting this business, but with you opening a second and a third house, I guess you don't.
I don't have any regrets, but I
Okay.
definitely know that be successful in this space. Absolutely.
Wow. So what have you run into? I'm sure you've run into challenges. Like, what, are there
hmm
any challenges that you would like to share? Like, what's something you want to warn other people about, or something that you learned that was surprising? Anything you want
So
to
I
share?
would say one of the lessons that I've learned is that you can be compassionate, assertive, and a boss all at the same time.
I like that.
You have to have a passion for people. If you're coming into the business and you're only doing it because of what the numbers say, it's only going to take you so far. The numbers are only going to take you so far because something's going to break. There's going to be some empty beds sometimes. You're going to have to, relocate or move people around. There's going to be some frustrating moments where you get calls at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, but you
Mhm.
have to remember that you're helping a community that is in need. And I think that needs to be the first conversation before we have the conversation about the numbers. Because if you're not able to speak to people, to be able to communicate well, to be able to listen to people's problems and be a mediator, like if you're the type of person to gossip, this is
Mm.
not the world for you, because you're gonna get frustrated by people, and other people are gonna call you like, oh, so and such is doing this and doing that. And if you're gonna sit on the phone like, yeah, this and that about that particular person, it can create, you have to remember they're living in the same household together.
Right.
So it can create issues with people who are under the same household, when really what you want to do is learn how to put those people together and do mediations. If you need to do a mediation, get to the
Mhm.
bottom of the story as quickly as possible and just try your best to mitigate any issues that everybody has, but also understand, like, maybe you might be going a little too far over there,
Right. Right.
telling people the
Yeah.
truth about themselves, telling people the
Mhm.
truth about themselves, and also bringing in the social workers. I like that people come with social workers. We're starting to create relationships with PRPs, which
What's
is
a PRP?
individual. So they are psychiatric health personnel, and they
Okay.
allow the individual to do, like, they do basically the social work stuff. So they're making sure they have mental health resources. They're making sure that they have any social security benefits, any EBT benefits, that if they need clothes, if they need housing, that type of thing. And they're actually certified to be able to counsel those individuals too. So it's essentially a wraparound service. So for PRP, if I see an individual is having a hard time, or I know that they're on some type of medication, or maybe there might be bipolar and they're just like going off on people, then I can connect them with someone who is PRP, because maybe they just need counseling. Maybe they just need somebody
Right.
to talk to. They're not always going to share with me what they have going on. So it's always a good thing to be able to bring in those social workers with the individual as well, so they feel supported and they don't feel so alone in the process of being in this
Mhm.
vulnerable place.
So, what would you do differently if you were starting over today with what you know now? Well, you
Mhm.
do get to start differently now because you have a second house that's opening, but what
Yes.
would you do differently?
Honestly, I would start marketing first. I would only start marketing, not necessarily to create a wait list, but I would start marketing so I can start having the conversation, so I can get used to having to having conversations with a different demographic that I'm maybe used to. I I work in a very professional environment in my full-time career. So there's a particular there's particular conversations and things that you can and you cannot say. And you only get used to that over time, over having that experience. And I think this is similar. Just being able to be patient with individuals. Maybe somebody is not able to write or read. So you're having to, do the intake form, write it down for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I have an intake form that is digital. I have intake form that is printed out.
Paper.
Because yes, because you don't know who you're going to be involved
Yep.
with or who you're going to interact with, and you don't want anybody to feel any way, whether it's
Right.
negative, that you're saying you don't know, you don't have a phone, and you don't know why you
Exactly.
don't have a phone. You don't know what their situation is. So I think that I would market more first, and maybe if I do get a referral, find a group home that's in the local area, contact them and say, hey, I have a referral for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you take this person? And just learn the game, learn the conversations, get to know different organizations, get to know different people, go to community events. I think I would do that first because you're desperate when you have the house because you
Right.
want to be able to pay the bills.
Yes.
Because when you get the house, you got to put the water in your name, put the
Mm.
electric in your name.
That's when
So you
everything gets real. Yeah.
it gets really real. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get another person or no,
Mm-hmm.
this person wants to move in right now. Like, and then you start negotiating your prices and you're starting to you reel back what you're actually worth and your confidence is not as high because you just don't know. So I
Right.
think if I were to go back, I would put that in place and I would also add a few more house rules and a few more things to my lease just to make it just full and complete. One of those house rules would be like if you lose your door key, or if you smoke in the house, the immediate repercussions of it. If you have a warning, this is what happens. If you have a second warning, this is what happens. Or these particular things are a no go. If you do this, you have to go. So I think it's really just things you learn along the way, nothing that was detrimental. There is one thing. I priced my rooms out differently than what I should have, not knowing what was going to come. So, my demographic where I'm at in Baltimore, shared beds are hard to fill. They're just really hard to
Okay.
fill. And it could be anywhere. I'm not really sure. I'm not in any other demographic, but the shared beds are definitely hard to fill. And it's very particular for the individuals who will take those beds. So, in order to get some of the rooms filled, I did have to switch some of them from shared rooms to private rooms, but also the income that you can have from it is not as much because even if you
Right.
put a shared room for 800 or 850 but you had or a private room for 800 850 but you may have had the shared room for 750 or 700, you're still cutting into your profits.
Right.
So that is something that I wish I would have understood about my market a little bit more, but it's hard to do market research if you're not having the conversations with the people outside to know what it is that they want and how you can serve them.
Right. Okay, that's good to know. So let's go back to the mentorship program. So I know
Mhm.
you went through my program, my coaching program. And there's
Yeah.
all the video module, the video modules and the one-on-one calls and all that. Was there any part of the mentorship that later on in hindsight you're like, you know what, that mattered? That part of the mentorship and that part of the training really mattered more than I thought it mattered.
Honestly, the whole thing, like, I would have to say the way that I was taught to send the emails, the different type of emails to send. The fact that you said have a conversation with the social workers in the community before trying to just get somebody into the house. I think that was powerful in itself because it's good to have your name out there and somebody calls you, but it's even better when they call when you're the first person that they call, or when
Right.
you create a referral relationship where you're like, hey, you're on my referral list. If somebody comes, you're the first person that I'm calling. And now I can, as a business owner, I give you a discount for that. So creating those type
Hmm.
of relationships really comes from the initial just conversation. And I think that's very important. So that's something that I learned through the mentorship, and I wouldn't have done on my own had I known that. Another thing is structuring the home in the way where, you have the house rules, you have how people are cleaning and what days they're supposed to be cleaning, the laundry list, like just all types of things, small things that I will learn through time, but I didn't have to go through the aches and pains of those small things, like labeling
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
You would think that you're like, okay, Mr. Robert, this is your cabinet.
Right.
Don't put anything else in your cabinet other than
Mm,
your stuff, okay? Mr. Robert, don't go in this cabinet, don't go in that cabinet. And Mr. Robert, well,
yep.
my name didn't say over there. So it's like you
Yep.
could walk around and say, this says to be.
Yep.
This is where to be is. So I think labeling everything that
Hmm.
has caused like so much, there can be headache with that because people don't own much. And if they do own a little bit of things, they can get very territorial of it.
Yes.
And yeah, so I
Yeah.
think a lot of things that you've taught me worked.
Yes. And especially if you're coming from like a very professional environment, like you're coming from, you
Yeah.
assume certain things about
Yes.
people and their mindset. And
Yeah.
then when you get introduced to this other demographic, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Whoa,
whoa.
wait a minute.
It's wait, wait. He is
Mm-hmm.
totally flipping out because
Mm-hmm.
somebody set their cup on his shelf.
Yes.
He has lost
Absolutely.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's something I
We've
learned too.
had disagreements over baloney. Like,
Yes.
I had to put people on shower. Okay, it's Tuesday at five
Yep.
o'clock. It's time to take a shower.
Time to shower.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's different things like that that you like I said, it's good to have those conversations again in the community because you don't know until you know.
Right, you don't know. Like, for example, so my first house, I have a lot of demographics of people who are this close to homelessness. Like they were
Hmm.
in the shelter or they were under a bridge, and then somebody helped them to get their benefits, their SSI or their SSDI. So
Hmm.
I had a man who was in a room that was right next door to the restroom. So
Hmm.
you would assume he's been using the restroom. Well, then we inspected his room and he had bottles lined up along the wall where he had been peeing in the bottles
And
because
bottles. Yep.
he was used to peeing
To
in
doing that.
bottles.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so
Hmm.
that's something that I wouldn't think of, of course he's using the bathroom. It's right next door. No, he was
Yeah.
using bottles. Yep. So then you
Yeah.
have to
So
explain we don't do that.
yes, this is not how that works. So we
Right.
had somebody who was chronically homeless, and I went into his room one day. I just knocked on his door to check on him, see how he was doing. And when I walked in, there was absolutely no blankets or anything on the bed. The bed was stripped naked, and I'm like, where's your linen at? Where's everything at?" And he's like, I just sleep on the bed like this. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't have to sleep on the bed like that. He's like, that's what I'm used to. And then he has his
Hmm.
jeans on and stuff. So, I went out, bought him some clothes, made sure that he had some type of, he understood this is what you wear when you go to sleep. This is what you wear when you're during the day. This is your pillow. This is your blanket. Get comfortable. But some
Yeah.
people don't understand, like, hey, this is where I live now. And
Right.
again, like you said, you just got to teach them.
Yeah, or like reentry. I've had people who were in prison for many years. And so they come out of prison and you tell them, okay, to pay your rent, I want you to download this app. They're like, what?
They start
Download an
yelling.
app?
Yes.
Yeah, they don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Don't know what you're talking about. They want
Yep.
us they want to give you a money order.
Yes. And I do accept the money order from those particular people.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I stopped arguing with them. I stopped
I stopped
arguing.
arguing too. I'm like, you could just do this. No, nope. They're gonna walk down the street, they're gonna get that money order, and they're gonna pay their rent. And that's
I
okay.
still send the link every single month just to see.
Yep.
And
They
every single
knock it.
month I get a money order.
Money order. Yep. So my operations manager now takes the money orders and deposits them into my business bank account once a
Hmm.
month. Yep. So figure that out. So
Yep.
the last thing I was going to ask you is what are you excited about in the next 90 days? I know if I were in your shoes, what I would be excited about, but what are you excited about in the next 90 days?
So honestly, I'm excited to have the house that I've already placed individuals in to be running as its own steam machine. And what I mean by that is you kind of got all the kinks out, the personality kinks and, the different things. So everybody has learned to kind of work together. There are two openings right now, two open rooms that I have individuals who are going to be moving into, but I think they're a good fit for the home. And I'm just excited to see now that we kind of have all the blocks together, how they're going to interact together and how it's going to shift and change their lives. And what happens, because we already have individuals who came in who were on unemployment or SSI or SSDI and didn't have a job, and now they finally have a job. I was able to, find links in job resource fairs and send it to them, and they were able to get a job. And now, they're working on their next thing. And some people are in school that weren't in school or about to graduate from school. So just seeing how their lives unfold, is very important to me because it's allowing me to know that I'm making the impact that I need to be making. One, and two, it allows me to know how to manage a house properly.
Right.
And then the other thing, of course, that I'm excited about is getting the second home and really, yay, and really just taking it, learning all the or using all the lessons that I've learned before and implementing them in this new house. So it is a well-oiled machine as well. And I just know the right people are going to come and we will work together. I know that I'm going to need a little bit more assistance in the reentry space as far as from like social workers and things, just to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do as the owner, as the operator, to ensure that they have what they need. But we pretty much have all the furniture. Once that is good to go, those same individuals who offered that house to me have already offered the different homes in the county that I currently live in. I haven't gotten a chance to start marketing to them just yet because I want to get this house settled first. And hopefully by the end of this cycle of 90 days where I have the current house up and running and good, and then the other house, getting that open, doing the open house, getting it furnished, putting the people in there, and making sure that they're okay, and then possibly hiring a operations manager and working on that third house. So
Wow.
that's all within the next 90 days.
Wow. Do you sleep? Do you sleep?
And not to mention, I have kids, and I'm in
Right.
school, and I work full time. So
You're in school too?
yes,
My
I'm in
goodness.
school to be a physician assistant. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
You are
have a full
busy. So
time. Yeah,
when I was closing on my second house, that's when I hired my operations manager.
yeah.
Do you already have somebody in mind or are you going to go and just like post a job opening somewhere?
So I am the type of person where I like to work with individuals who I already have a good relationship with. And I
Mhm.
think my house manager right now would be a good fit for that position.
Okay.
I know that there's anything could happen, but my vision of this, when I was thinking about what I wanted to do and how I wanted to run the business, I want to promote the people that have been there and have done the things and who I've communicated with. So I
Yeah.
do think that I'm going to try to take the people along with me who are
Mhm.
helping me build the house and build the brand. And if that doesn't work out, then I'm totally open for opening or hiring someone to take that position on. I know that in Facebook groups,
Mhm.
they have like people who are like, hey, if you want somebody to run your house, I'm here. And there's a lot of people in Baltimore, more people than I thought there was. So I do think that I would be able to fill that position with the right person. But again, it would be trial periods and different things. I'm a little nervous
Mhm.
about it because it is my baby.
Right.
So, but I'm ready to be a business owner.
Yes. Got to be an owner. You got to be the CEO,
Yes,
not the
there's a
person working
difference.
in the business.
There's a difference. There's a very
Yes.
big difference. Yes.
There's a big difference. Yep. So how can people get in touch with you if somebody watches this video and they just want to ask you some questions or reach out to you? How can they get in touch with you?
That's a great question, and I love to answer that because I don't know how anybody got in touch with me in the last couple of videos,
You know what? These
but
people are internet spies.
they
They
really
will
are.
find you.
They will find you.
People have found me, and I'm like, wait a minute, because I
Where
do
did you
have
come
my
from?
group home on autopilot.com. You can reach
Yes.
out to me that way. But I've had some people reach out to me in strange ways, or I'm like, wait.
Hold on.
Hold up.
So I do have a business Instagram and a TikTok as well as a Facebook, and it's The Haven Quarters, ThehavenQuarters, The Haven Quarters. My email address is info at thehavenquarters.com. And you can always text me or call me at 202-754-0658.
She gave all the ways. That's how you can reach her. She is
Yes.
available. Awesome, awesome. Well, Kenya, I hope that in April, well, wait, you open your home in April, right? You're opening your second home. Okay. Well, I haven't put it out there yet because it's all in here, but I'm having
Okay.
a live event in April.
Okay. Okay.
April 24th and 25th here in Los Angeles. I really hope you can make it. No pressure. I'm going to get it out by next week. I promise I'm going to get it out. All of the flyer and everything that's
And
in here.
everything.
Yes, but I really hope that I can finally meet you in person because we've been working
Absolutely.
together now for I don't know how long, and it's
6
all been
months
virtual.
almost. Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
I don't even know how
absolutely.
tall you are, nothing.
Me either.
I know you from here.
From here up.
Yep. So I hope to see
Absolutely.
you in April, and I really want to come out to the Haven Quarters too, and I would love to do a
Yeah.
tour of your house. Did you
Of
do a video
course.
tour? Did you? Oh, you did.
I
You did like
did.
your open house video.
Yeah. So I have a
Okay.
bunch of videos on TikTok. I have a bunch of videos on Instagram of
Okay.
the house and just walking through different, because like I said, we have the 6 bedrooms or 7 bedrooms. So there's a bunch of videos and everything. And I really wish I would have taken more before people
Yeah.
started moving in,
Yep.
but there is still a lot out there. And so people can kind of have an idea of what the house looks like.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you again for your time.
you're
I'm going to get this
welcome.
video up as soon as possible. See you
All
soon.
right.
Okay.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.